What if I told you that in the next 20 minutes, I'm going to reveal the 12 secret spots in Venice that 99% of tourists completely miss, including one hidden location where locals have been meeting for over 400 years, and another spot where you can literally walk on water without getting wet. But here's the catch: one of these places on my list is so exclusive that only 50 people per day are allowed inside, and I'm going to show you exactly how to be one of them. I'm Sarah, and I've spent the last 3 months living like a local in Venice, uncovering secrets that most travel guides won't tell you. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly where to go, what to avoid, and the one magical time of day when Venice transforms into something straight out of a fairy tale. So grab your passport, because we are about to embark on the ultimate Venetian adventure. But first, if you're excited to discover these hidden gems, smash that like button and hit subscribe, because I guarantee you've never seen Venice like this before. Venice isn't just a city, it's a living, breathing masterpiece built on impossible dreams. But here's what nobody tells you. While millions of tourists follow the same crowded path every year, the real Venice, the magical, mysterious Venice that locals call home, exists in the shadows of the famous landmarks. Today, I'm taking you beyond the tourist traps to 12 incredible places that will make you fall in love with Venice all over again. We'll start with the obvious must-sees, but then I'll reveal locations so secret that even some locals don't know about them. Quick question before we dive in: drop a comment below. Have you been to Venice before, or is this your dream destination? I read every single comment, and your answers help me create better content for you. I've organized these 12 locations strategically, from morning spots to evening magic, so you can actually visit them all in the perfect order. Stick around until the end, because location number 12 will literally take your breath away, and I'll share the exact secret timing that transforms it into pure magic. Location 1. Street Mark's Square, the obvious but essential. Let's start with the obvious: St. Mark's Square. Now, before you roll your eyes, hear me out. Yes, everyone goes here, but 99% of people do it completely wrong. Here's my insider secret: visit at 6:30 a.m. I'm not kidding. The difference between St. Mark's Square at sunrise versus 10 a.m. is like comparing a peaceful meditation retreat to a rock concert. But there's something even more incredible about this timing that most people miss, and it has to do with something that happens every single morning at exactly 7:15 a.m. I'll reveal what that is when we get to location number 8. Standing here at dawn, with the pigeons as my only company, I finally understood why Napoleon called this the drawing room of Europe. The golden light reflecting off the Byzantine mosaics creates this ethereal glow that literally changes by the minute. Location 2. Doge's Palace. Skip the line strategy. Location number 2. The Doge's Palace. This isn't just a palace, it's where the most powerful maritime empire in history made decisions that changed the world. But first, pause the video right now and take a guess. How many rooms do you think are in the Doge's Palace? Drop your guess in the comments. The answer will blow your mind. Here's what your guidebook won't tell you. There are secret passages throughout this palace that were used for espionage and political intrigue. The famous Bridge of Sighs? That's just the beginning of the story. Pro tip that'll save you hours: book the Secret Itineraries tour. Yes, it costs extra, but you'll access areas that regular tourists never see, including the prison cells where Casanova was held and the route he used to escape. Speaking of escapes, wait until you see location number 9. It's a place where locals have been hiding from tourists for over 300 years, and it's still virtually unknown. Location 3. Grand Canal by gondola. Alright, location 3, and yes, I'm including the gondola experience, but not for the reason you think. Everyone says gondolas are tourist traps, and honestly, most gondola rides are. But I discovered something incredible. There are 400 licensed gondoliers in Venice, but only about 50 of them know the real hidden canals and the stories that come with them. My gondolier, Marco, whose family has been doing this for 6 generations, took me through canals so narrow that you can literally touch the walls of 800-year-old palaces on both sides. He told me stories that aren't in any guidebook. Here's a challenge for you. If you do take a gondola ride, ask your gondolier about the Rio della Torso. If they know what you're talking about, you found one of the good ones. Let me know in the comments if you try this. And here's a money-saving secret. The official gondola price is fixed, but you can negotiate for longer routes or specific canals. The best time? Late afternoon when gondoliers want to fill their boats before dinner. Location 4. Rialto Market Morning Magic. Location 4 brings us to the Rialto Market, but forget everything you think you know about this place. This market has been operating for over 1,000 years, but there's one vendor here who has a secret that connects directly to the most exclusive restaurant in Venice, and I'm going to show you exactly how to use this connection to get a table that's normally booked months in advance. The Rialto Market comes alive at 6 a.m., and by 10 a.m., the best stuff is gone. But here's what's incredible: the vendors here aren't just selling fish and vegetables, they're preserving traditions that date back to when Venice was the trading capital of the world. I met Giuseppe, who's been selling seafood here for 40 years. His father did it before him, and his grandfather before that. Giuseppe taught me how to identify the freshest seafood using techniques passed down through generations, knowledge that local chefs still rely on. Quick poll. Are you a seafood lover or do you prefer meat? This actually matters for where I'll recommend you eat later in the video. And that exclusive restaurant connection I mentioned? We'll come back to that when we reach location number 10. It's going to change how you think about Venetian cuisine forever. Location 5. Murano Island Glass Making Secrets. Location 5 takes us off the main island to Murano, but we're not going for the obvious reasons. Everyone knows Murano for glass, but here's what most tourists miss. There are still families here whose glass-making techniques are so secret, they're literally passed down through bloodlines and never written down. I was incredibly lucky to meet Maestro Luigi, a third-generation glassblower, who showed me techniques that have been kept within his family for over 200 years. Watching him work was like witnessing actual magic. But here's the incredible part: Luigi told me that the sand used to make the finest Murano glass doesn't even come from Italy. It comes from a secret location that only about 20 people in the world know about, and the price of this sand is more expensive than gold. If you visit Murano, skip the big touristy shops and look for the small workshops where you can actually watch the artists work. The pieces cost the same, but you're supporting authentic craftsmen instead of mass production. Have you ever tried glass blowing? It looks easy, but it's incredibly difficult. Let me know in the comments if you've ever tried any traditional crafts. Location 6. Peggy Guggenheim Collection. Location 6 is for my art lovers, the Peggy Guggenheim Collection. But this isn't just about the art. Peggy Guggenheim was this incredible American socialite who basically said, "Screw it," to conventional life and moved to Venice to collect the most controversial art of her time. Her palazzo is now one of the most important modern art museums in the world. But here's the secret most visitors miss: the sculpture garden. While everyone crowds inside looking at Picasso and Pollock, the garden is this peaceful oasis with incredible sculptures and one of the most romantic views of the Grand Canal. And get this, Peggy's ashes are actually buried in the garden, right next to her beloved dogs. She literally chose to spend eternity surrounded by art and beauty. Goals, right? Art question. Do you prefer classical art or modern art? I personally team modern, but I'd love to know what you think. Pro tip. The museum is much less crowded in the early afternoon, and they have this incredible rooftop terrace that most people don't know about. Location 7. Libreria Acqua Alta Books and Cats. Location 7 is going to make every book lover watching this video want to book a flight to Venice immediately. Libreria Acqua Alta, literally, high water bookstore, is the most unique bookstore on planet Earth. The owner has taken the fact that Venice floods regularly and turned it into pure magic. Books are stored in gondolas, bathtubs, and waterproof containers. There are cats everywhere, and I mean everywhere, just lounging among first edition novels and travel guides. It's like something out of a fantasy novel. But here's the secret that most visitors miss. There's a staircase made entirely of books in the back courtyard that leads to a small balcony with an incredible view of the canal. It's completely hidden unless you explore. Cat people versus dog people, let's settle this in the comments. Personally, after meeting the bookstore cats, I might be converting to Team Cat. And here's something incredible. The owner doesn't just sell books, he rescues them. When there are floods in Venice, he goes around the city saving water-damaged books and gives them new life in his store. Location 8. Street. Mark's Campanile. Timing is everything. Location 8 brings us to St. Mark's Campanile, and here's where I fulfill that promise from earlier about the 7:15 a.m. secret. Remember when I said something magical happens at 7:15 a.m. every day? At exactly 7:15, the bells of St. Mark's Campanile ring across the entire city, and if you're up in the tower at that moment, you experience something that literally gave me goosebumps. The views from up here are obviously incredible, but here's what's special about the early morning timing. The mist rises from the canals, the light is golden, and you can actually see the layout of the entire city, how all these seemingly random canals and islands actually form this perfect, intentional design. Standing up there at sunrise, looking out over this impossible city built on wooden stakes driven into a lagoon 1,500 years ago, I finally understood why people say Venice is a miracle. The elevator to the top costs about €8, but book online to skip the lines. And definitely go early by 11 a.m. The lines are insane and the views are hazy. But if you think these views are incredible, wait until you see location number 12. I'm not exaggerating when I say it's the most beautiful view in all of Europe. Location 9. Castello District Local Secrets. Location 9 is where we go completely off the tourist trail, the Castello District. This is where actual Venetians live, work, and hang out. No souvenir shops, no crowds of tourists, just real Venetian life happening like it has for centuries. I discovered this tiny Baccaro that's a Venetian wine bar called All'Arco, where locals have been meeting for over 400 years. The owner, Francesco, makes these incredible small plates using recipes that have been in his family for generations. But here's the incredible part. Francesco's great-great-grandfather was actually the personal chef to one of the last Doges of Venice. Some of the recipes he serves today were literally created for Venetian royalty. Food question. What's your favorite type of small plate or appetizer? Italian cicchetti might just become your new obsession. The best time to experience authentic Baccaro culture is between 6 and 8 p.m. That's when locals stop for their evening aperitivo. Just follow the sound of laughter and clinking glasses. Location 10. Osteria alla Testiere. Location 10 is where I fulfilled that promise about the exclusive restaurant connection from the Rialto market. Remember Giuseppe, the seafood vendor? He told me that the chef at Osteria alla Testiere personally selects his seafood every morning at 6 a.m. This restaurant only has 24 seats, no phone reservations, and it's booked solid for months. But here's the secret. If you show up at exactly 7 p.m. when they open, and you mention that Giuseppe recommended you, they sometimes have a table available for walk-ins. It worked for me. The meal I had here was transcendent. Every dish was prepared with seafood that was literally swimming in the Adriatic that morning. The chef, Bruno, creates these combinations that somehow taste both ancient and completely modern. And get this, Bruno used to be a fisherman himself before becoming a chef. He knows exactly which boats bring in the best catch and has relationships with fishermen throughout the Veneto region. What's the best meal you've ever had while traveling? Drop it in the comments. I love hearing food stories. Location 11. Giudecca Island Sunset. Location 11 is all about timing and positioning Giudecca Island at sunset. Most tourists never even know Giudecca exists. But locals consider it one of the best kept secrets in Venice. It's literally a 5-minute Vaporetto ride from St. Mark's Square, but it feels like a completely different world. Giudecca has this incredible industrial history. It used to be where all the major manufacturing happened. Now it's this peaceful residential island with some of the most incredible views of Venice you'll find anywhere. But here's why sunset timing is crucial. The island faces west, so you get these incredible golden hour shots of the entire Venice skyline reflected in the water. It's literally postcard perfect, but without the crowds. The Vaporetto Line 2 runs regularly to Giudecca, and there's a great little bar called Skyline that has a rooftop terrace with 360-degree views. Perfect for an aperitivo while watching the sunset. But if you think this sunset view is incredible, location number 12 is going to absolutely blow your mind. I'm talking about a view that's so spectacular, it literally made me cry. Location 12. San Giorgio Maggiore, the ultimate view. And here we are, location 12, the grand finale, and honestly, the most incredible view in all of Europe. San Giorgio Maggiore is this perfect little island with a Palladian church and a bell tower that most tourists completely ignore because it's not on the main tourist circuit. But when that elevator reaches the top and you step out onto the observation deck, I'm not embarrassing to admit this, I literally got emotional. The view is so perfect, so impossibly beautiful, that it doesn't seem real. From up here, you can see all of Venice laid out like a perfect map, the entire Venetian lagoon stretching to the horizon, and on clear days, you can actually see the Italian Alps in the distance. But here's the secret that makes this location absolutely magical. Come here exactly 1 hour before sunset. The light is golden, the crowds are gone, and you have this incredible view almost entirely to yourself. And here's something that blew my mind. The architect Palladio designed this bell tower specifically to frame perfect views of Venice. Every angle, every window, every detail was planned to create the most beautiful possible perspective of the city. I want to know, what's the most beautiful view you've ever seen while traveling? This one definitely makes my top 5 list. Before we wrap up, let me share some bonus insider tips that'll make your Venice experience absolutely perfect. Transportation hack. Skip the expensive water taxis and buy a multi-day Vaporetto pass. It pays for itself after just 3 rides, and you can hop on and off all day. Dining secret. Avoid any restaurant with a tourist menu in multiple languages. The best places have handwritten menus in Italian only, and they're usually half the price. Accommodation tip. Stay in Dorsoduro or Castello districts instead of around St. Mark's Square. You'll pay 50% less and actually experience real Venetian neighborhoods. Timing strategy. Visit major attractions either very early morning or late afternoon. The middle of the day is when cruise ship passengers flood the city. Photography secret. The best Instagram shots are from the lesser-known bridges. Ponte dell'Accademia and Ponte degli Scalzi have incredible views without the crowds. What's your biggest travel fear about visiting Venice? Crowds? Getting lost? Expense? Let me know in the comments and I'll personally respond with specific advice. Quick seasonal breakdown because timing your visit can make or break your experience. Spring, April, May, perfect weather, fewer crowds, but occasional flooding. This is honestly my favorite time to visit. Summer, June, August, crowded and hot, but longest days and warmest weather for evening strolls. Fall, September, October, great weather, fewer tourists, but higher chance of acqua alta. Flooding. Winter. November, March, magical and mysterious, very few tourists, but cold and potential flooding. Carnival season in February is incredible but expensive. I've been to Venice in every season now, and honestly, each one has its own magic. Even the flooded winter days have this incredible dramatic beauty that's impossible to describe. And there you have it, the 12 best places to visit in Venice, along with all the insider secrets I've discovered living here like a local. Venice is facing so many challenges over tourism, climate change, population decline. When you visit these places, you're not just seeing incredible sights, you're supporting a living, breathing culture that's been thriving for over 1,500 years. If this video helped you plan your Venice adventure, please hit that like button, it really helps me create more detailed travel content like this. And if you want more insider travel guides, subscribe and ring the notification bell because I've got incredible videos planned for Rome, Florence, and the Amalfi Coast. Most importantly, I want to hear from you. Which location are you most excited to visit? Did any of these places surprise you? Are there any Venice questions I didn't answer? Drop everything in the comments below, I read and respond to every single one. And here's a fun challenge. If you end up visiting Venice and try any of my recommendations, comment below and I'll respond to you as fast as I can. Until next time, keep exploring, keep wondering, and remember, the best travel experiences happen when you venture beyond the obvious. Ciao, beautiful humans.